evening, good evening. I'm sneaking in here and getting some crafting done. I wanted to go over magnet placement with you guys again on this and show you a little different way. I took this, made a little belly band. This is a piece that I had left from when I cut out this piece. And this is going to go on the inside like that. So it's just another way that you can, of something that you can do on here. You can make yourself a pocket. You can leave it blank. Whatever you feel you want to do. And I did do the edge punching and just glued that onto the inside of the belly band. So that, you know, trying to use up all my little strips and things. So I'm not gluing this down yet. I am at the point where I'm gluing these puppies down. I've already cut the ones that I want to go against the calendar flap. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, that you're not having a gap between the calendar flap and the piece of ephemera, but that it's going to open nicely. All right, so that opens nicely and I don't visually see a gap. So that works out very nice. We want to make sure we get all of our edges glued down. Good, 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 good. And then I'm going to do this one. Whoops. And put that, let's see. This one I've got posted like this. So I want this one right about here, I'd say. Yeah, right about here. There we go. And I've inked these edges as well. Again, we're going to make sure that there's no and I pretty much got those at the same angle, which I don't particularly like, but it's gonna be just fine. There we go. Make sure these are good and burnished down. Get that glue spread out. And then those are the two parts there. And then this, I think we'll do this way. I forgot I needed to do this one as well. Okay, so I would like it to be able to be red so that you know what the word is. So I'm going to pull it out farther, making my mark where I'm going to cut it. And this one is not quite at the same big angle, which is fine. You want to mix it up a little bit. So there's that, and I'm just inking my edges. Okay, ink this one down. I am showing you guys this part because I want to make sure that I explained everything well enough. Oh, I just lifted up the end of my paper. Hold on, just put a little bit of glue and put that back down. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to do the inside with our pieces. And this mat is not glued down because I'm going to have just paper clipped it. so that I could find my up and down center and my left and right center for where I cut my line in for on this mat for the actual calendar flap. And so that's nice that I should have taped that, but I did that before I was watching. So now if I get my head in the way, I'm sorry, but I've got to kind of make sure that I'm making it look like it's still one whole piece. I want to fold it over so it should line up with the edge of the orange, is where your end should line up. So you want to close it and make sure that that's not going to interfere. And I see I still have a pencil mark. I still have a pencil mark. Now that this is glued, I can get a little bit. There we go. What's that? Yep, there we go. Okay. All right, so there's the first one. Then I need my little postal stamp with the bug. I love the bug in this. Got a bug. Alrighty, so we're gonna make sure this looks whole. Fold it over. And again, it makes it push right over to the edge of the orange paper. Burnish it down so you get that glue all mixed in there, any goopiness coming out, and my last piece. And then we're going to place the magnets. I also had a question from a friend of mine, Laurel, and said that I didn't go over a part well enough that she thought I should go over it again. So I'm going to go ahead and do, sorry with the head, go ahead and do another quick tutorial on the inside pages. I've got them all cut out. All right, and now I'm going to set up magnets. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Now, one thing I want to make sure is that I'm not putting a magnet underneath one of these stamps. So I'm going to go for up in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a magnet out. So let's get this right here. And I want it far enough in that I can have a piece of paper go flat. There, that's good. And I'm going to put a piece of tape over the top of it. There we go. Now that's not moving anywhere. So I'm going to get another piece of tape. Excuse me. My allergies have been starting to act up a little bit. Our weather's been so weird. Raining, sunshine, cold, warm, rain. And I can't get this to go off of my finger. Yeah. Listen. Get another magnet. Let it match up. So there we go. And now I'm just going to put this down. Put this flap down onto it and push. Lift it up. And now you have your other magnet. Excuse me, in just the right spot. And now we can mat our two black surfaces. Take this off. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue. So it has something to lay on top of while I'm trying to get this just right. And there we go. Burnish it down well. Make sure that this is getting down. Try not to get real close to the magnet. You don't want to burnish an edge around your magnet like I just did, because it kind of makes it stand out then, and that's not really, you don't really want your magnet to stand out. Oh, look, there's a magnet right there. You want it to be hidden and covered. Okay, and now I'm going to put this down. Let me just dry fit it one more time. Make sure I'm where I need to be. It's going to have a little bit more of a black edge here because I don't want to get into that fold line at all. I'm going to take my score tape off. And I lifted that up a little bit, which will make a, there we go. If it folds over on top of itself, it will make a little lump that if you run your fingers over it or something, you will notice that little lump. And just put some dots of glue. And let's get this down. And then we're done with the front, and I'll move on. And I know I didn't show you the whole front part, but hopefully I've gone over those a couple of times. I do still have the right hand side of the folders to do, but I will probably only show you the front part of that versus showing you everything. And there we go. Let's burnish this down. Ooh, I got glue coming everywhere. Glue coming everywhere. Let's get that glue off of there. And it doesn't look like that end, that little corner is down very well. So I pushed it and I saw the glue ease out. So I know that there's glue down there. Yay! Don't want your corners standing up. So isn't that cute? And now it's a nice little pass through. Now we have to take care of our actual tab. Now when I was cutting through this, and let me tell you the size because I don't think I did before. The black is 1 inch, and then I just made the paper, I think it's 7/8, and I did my measurement, and then we just are going to glue that down right up in this area. I did not round the corners this time, just for a little difference. I'm going to flip this around so that I can see what I'm doing here. I want this protective piece for my pocket to be even left and right, but I also want it to be even with the black edge of my pockets all the way across. Okay, so that is what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue down. And I'm going to have to, because I did cut that, I'm going to have to make sure that I get that put together well while finagling it. I want to make sure I've got it set up right. Okay, so it's going to go right about here. Let me push this side in before my glue sets. Ah! Get in there. Get in there. It's hooking on the edge. There we go. And it's drying, and I'm not ready for it to dry yet. Get down. Okay, that's where that needs to be. This needs to come down just a little bit. All right. There we go. Oh, no, not quite straight. Let's get this down just a little bit more. Okay. Then all we're going to do this is going to fit in there very nicely. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our little cutter and we're going to cut. Just be really careful. Lift this up, get this over in here. Lift this up, get this in here. All right, and then I'm going to cut it across one more time. That is good. Cut this across one more time. Come at it this way. There we go. There we go. I'm going to take my ink and ink this up as best I can. Now pull this out. Ink that up. And now that will fit down in there. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to take, I'm trying to just take the January one and get these to match up with that so that I don't end up with a bunch of different ones. So everything I'm trying to match up with just one item. And I am trying to set this where I'm going to like it as if it was going to be glued down onto a file folder. And I'm going to push this down until I get it where I want it. And I think that is about it right there. You can do this if you want. Okay, pull it out just a little bit. So then I am going to, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line. So now I know I can move this out of the way. Thank you, January. I appreciate you. I'll pull this back out. And then I will glue that down after I finish the insides. So the next one we're going to do is the belly band. I've got all the pieces and parts cut and inked, I hope. Okay, so this is the black part of my belly band, and I've already scrunched up. I've already made a 1/2 inch hinge on one side. Now this piece, giving you the measurements again, this piece is 7 3/4 by 8. And on the 8 inch side, you're going to score 1/2 inch we can go ahead and place our calendar on here. And I am leaving no black edge. I did ink it, so there is a little black, you know, a little tidbit of black there. And I'm just going to glue this down. Oops, went right off my paper twice now. Just going to glue this down. Okay. Okay, so here is our calendar. Now this is off of the 12 by 12 paper. And I'm going to put it right to the top, but leaving a black edge on both sides of it. There we go. And then make sure that it's nice and straight as we're gluing it down. Okay. Burnish everything. Little bits of glue popping out. That's all right. That just means that your edges are definitely glued down. So we're going to place this at the very top, and we're going to make a mark right above the score line, which should be right at the bottom of our calendar. And then we're just going to put that right there in the center, and we're just going to make, now that is not acting like it's super straight, so let's see. Let me see here. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. Since it's not coming out perfectly straight, I'm using the line that I have drawn on my board, and I'm matching up where I want that score line to be with seeing both sides of that line. And I'm going to make myself a score mark. So it's right at the edge of the calendar. There we go. And we're going to fold, and then we might have just a little bit of a black edge on the bottom, which is totally fine. Unless you don't like that, then you can finagle it a little bit. But there we go. And that will fit top to bottom perfectly. Okay. And then all we're going to do is I cut out my pieces, and I'm going to mat these black pieces with this, and then slide them in on both sides and glue them down so they'll be at around the edge of the paper. But you're going to fit them, when you slide them in, you're fitting them in between this hinge and this hinge. So they will go on top of the hinges. Okay? Okay guys, let's see. Got the microphone on. Camera, turn so I can see it. There we go. Okay. Now my husband's sleeping, so I'm going to try and be quiet, but I get so excited. I'm crafting that it's hard. So if I start getting loud, y'all got to let me know. Okay, so I went ahead and I glued my strips onto my black strip. that's going to slide in on both sides in underneath the calendar. And oh, is that just a smidge too? No, that's fine. Well, no, that is a smidge too long. All right, so I'm gonna have to take a sliver off. Now let's see. I thought I had this measured out right, but apparently I did not. Okay, that's better. So it'll go, you know, like so. Then what I did was I put this down where it's going to go, took my little ruler and found the center and then marked lines, so it's easier for me when I go to put this down. I do have a piece of black tape of excuse me, double-sided tape, so I'll go ahead and put a piece down here, and I just kind of stick it in the center. You can totally, if you want to put it right up to the edge, I prefer to put glue to the edge so that if it does, I don't know, if it does kind of, you don't want the tape to show, and sometimes if you put it right up to the edge, you still see that tape. So I just like to run a bit of glue. Anyway, I'm going to burnish this down. There we go. And let's start from the bottom because I don't want to get into my score line. So I'm going to take this off. That is the bottom, right? Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, it's starting to get late, but I wanted to try and get this done so I could get it out for tomorrow. Or, well, no, I guess today is Thursday, and I normally try and do Saturdays and Tuesdays. That is when I'm trying to accomplish. I can't always promise that it'll be that day, but yeah, that looks good right there. Very nice. First time's a charm, you know. Sometimes a second, sometimes a third, however many times it takes to get it done right? That's the charm. Now, I did get a little bit of pencil mark. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's all going to get covered up, so not a big problem. Now, we'll go ahead and put this side down. Actually, let me double check that this is going to fit in here. And you see that? That needs to be cut down a sliver, a smidge. I started saying that word when I lived in New Hampshire. And there was a lady there that I got to know, and that was her favorite word. It's just a smidge. Just a smidge. Okay, so there we go. That's good. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and put this down. Get a little glue on the top. Now I do try and get it up to the edge as closely as possible, and then this just on the rest of it so it's covered. But try not to do too much where it will bleed onto down here where it will seal your pocket up, or your belly band. This is a belly band, a very large belly band, but a belly band just the same. And then I'm just going to take a strip of paper. Nope, I need a long strip of paper, please. Nope. Oh, come on. No? Okay, everything I'm grabbing is a short strip of paper. Let me get this. I just want to make sure that I'm not glued either one of these down. There, we're very good. Very good. Okay, now we're just going to slide these into in between the in between your hinge and the actual black cardstock. And these are going to be snug. Going to be snug. I'm going to have to cut down a little bit more on this one. Just try and take a little off both sides if you need to so that they're even. And that's not even. Oof, that one got pretty tiny. That's okay. That is okay. And then we're just going to slide that in until we get it where we want it. All right. Come to mama here. Right where we want it. We want it where we want it, don't we? Okay. So there. That looks good. So it comes down here about a 1/2 inch, this mat that we're sliding in. I'm going to put my fingers on there and I'm going to lift this up. I'm just going to stick some glue along the edge, down this way, and down that way. That's all you have to glue because the rest of it is in the pocket, so it's not going to go anywhere. There we go. Oh. Got a little traveling glue there. We don't want any traveling glue. No traveling glue. All right, so there's that side. Let's give this another check, see how easy or hard it's going to be to slide it in. Okay, that's not too bad. Let me pull this side out just a smidge. All right, and that still not quite even. And I think that looks good. So again, I'm going to do this and just find an entrance. Oh, I am so sorry. My allergies. Just being in a new place and not really having a lot of acclimation yet. I think I'm going to have allergies every season until my body gets a little more acclimated to, and that is just not in there just right. Oh, I'm so sorry. There we go. And burnish down. There we go. And a belly band is born. Yay! And I have already folded my book. And there we go. And I am going to come up with some kind of little handle or something for these because they're not super easy to get out, just because this has to be so wide to get that full calendar on there. But I thought this full calendar was probably the one that was going to be because the larger squares that you're going to be able to actually put down birthdays or anniversaries or you know, all of those different things instead of trying to use the small one. All right, so there's that. Excuse me again. Now this is the one that I kind of thought that maybe I needed to give a little bit more information on, okay? Why do I have this? I don't know why I have that. I probably will figure it out here. So what I did was I cut my base so that I would have a nice edge all the way around. Okay, and it comes into the pocket at least about a 1/2 inch. This one's almost 3/4, but that's fine. So we're going to have that. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is take my little 1/2 inch strips, and there is a right way and a wrong way to this, and I'm going to put them right here like this, and that gives us our spacing. So for right now, I'm going to move this aside, and I have already inked. Yes, I had to double check since I've told you I inked everything and I didn't. Oh my goodness. So here we go. Okay, sorry, I was gluing this down. I don't think I missed much, but my memory card was full. I guess I forgot to delete. I forgot to delete out of it. So I glued down my first 1/2 strip, and now I'm going to glue down my second 1/2 strip. And yes. And this does not have to go all the way down, because the end does not have to go all the way down on the bottom part of the mat, because it's going to be under the pocket. Now just try and make this the same as the one over there, as this one, so that they all will work out very nicely. All right, come on, get on there. Okay, that looks good to me. Let's burnish this one down. Oh, a little crooked down here at the very bottom, but I don't think that's going to show. There, I got it moved a little bit. There. Okay. This is one part that I think people may have a problem with. So I have a 6 by 6 square. So it's 6 by 6 square. I'm going to put this into the cutter, and I think maybe it will work on this one. Yeah. And I'm going to put this corner and this corner right at the very edge of the blade where it's going to cut. So take your time, get this right, because if it's not right, then your piece will be not quite right either. All right, I think, yes. There we go. And they should match up perfectly. Very good. Okay, so there you saw how I did that. And now we have, just want to make sure that I didn't mix them up. Now we're going to take our piece, and do I want to ink this? I think I do. I'm sorry, I'm going to take it off screen here so I don't get these little black bits all over the place. Now you only have to ink the one short side and the long side of your triangle, because the rest of it will be down into the pocket. So the outside short side and the long side. There we go. Okay. And then we are going to place these. Yes. We're going to place these where the tip of the triangle lines up perfectly with this 1/2 inch strip. You don't want it to go up past the 1/2 inch strip. And we're going to glue down the entire surface. Now, I guess you could keep it as a second pocket if you'd like to, and then you would just glue here and here, and then have this as a second pocket, and then when you cut the black, you know, you would just be able to. I'm not going to do that, but you could do that if you so choose. If you so choose to do that. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this lined up, flip it over, and I'm just going to draw a line right here so I know that I don't glue past that line, because I'm going to cut that off and it'll just make everything messy. And make sure that you get glue into those corner areas and all along the edge. Okay. And let's get the right side up. Now we're going to leave ourselves the same amount of black space and make sure that the tip is going all the way up and matching up with the edge here. And that looks pretty good. Okay, I think that's going to work right there. Okay, so there's that little goopage. Get that little goopage out of there. All right. Now, the other one, we're going to do the same to this. And if we did it correctly, this should line up almost perfectly, and it does almost perfectly line up. I don't know why it's not exactly lining up perfectly. There, it is lining up perfectly. Okay, and so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to flip it over, put a little mark on here so I know that I don't put the glue past that spot. We are raining cats and dogs here when we're supposed to get snow tonight. So, yeah, so Lisa is looking forward to waking up to some snow tomorrow. I am. All right, flip this back over. And I'm going to turn it sideways so that I can see what I'm doing here. Have it come up all the way. Place it down. Oop, don't want that there. And there we go. So that's how you know it's straight, is that you got it. That it is a nice even line down across here. That's how you know you got it straight. And if it's a little off, it doesn't really matter because you're going to cut that off anyway. Nobody's going to be seeing that part. So that's how you make the envelope pocket. We're just going to cut this off because we don't need all this excess. A little thicker. I don't know what paper this gray, blue gray is from. I don't think it's Stampin' Up. It's a good paper. It's not as thick as Stampin' Up, but it's probably some that I got from that mom and pop shop that I bought out all their 8.5 by 11 paper, copy paper. I bought it all. Okay, so there's that. Now we are going to get my small ruler here, and I just want to find my center. So I'm going to get the ruler flat along that edge, get it right where the V of these two blue-gray pieces match up with the black. Put it right there. Sorry about my head. It's bad hair day too, so don't look. And then I'm going to come up a little ways from that. I'm just going to make myself a little line here so I can see that. And that gives me a point to go to and stop cutting and turn and cut into the other direction. Now, I do want Timmy for this. Come here, Timmy. Come here, baby. And you figure out how deep you want the cut to be. And get your knife out. And I'm not going to go quite as far as I know I want to, because I'll get the last bit of that with my scissors. Okay. Go this way. There we go. And that's correct. You just find where you want that depth. There we go. And now I'm just going to use my scissors to finish this off. Voila! Okay, so let me put it on the white so you can see it. And there you can see that I've got a nice black edge on both sides there. Yay! Okay, putting this away. Put this over with my black paper. I've been trying to do a little housekeeping all the time, and then I've already pre-cut this piece here for our background of our pocket, and I've made it smaller there. So I've made it smaller so it will fit all the way around on the black. Oops. Okay, and then we have to figure out what else we're going to do with this. And do I want a little strip of black across the top? And I think I do. So I need to find a strip that is a little longer than this width across here from the black edge to the black edge, which, oh yeah, this will work. Okay, so I am going to glue this down on this. I'm just going to lay this here so I can see where I need to put my glue line. Back it up a little bit, and I'm going to glue this down. And I think I got a little bit of glue on the edge there. Okay. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay. And I want the roughest edge. And I just want to give myself a little bit of a border. Just a little bit. There we go. Little bit of goober glues. There we go. Okay. So then we're going to match up the black edge with the black edge. So there you can see that it matches up perfectly and just looks like one solid piece right across there. So I'm quite pleased with that. So instead of moving it, I'm going to put some glue on the top there. And I'm going to put some glue on the top here. And lay that down. Because we don't want to glue any of this part because this is our pocket in here. Okay. And now we're going to flip this over. And I'm just going to run a glue line right down the edge. Burnish. And then do this side. Just right down the edge. There we go. And now a envelope pocket is born. Yay, we like birthing things. Not quite as painful as actually birthing things. I got a little strip on there. There we go. Okay. So now the other part that I thought maybe somebody would need to have it, go over it with you again would be actually what I do to flip this down into the pocket. So I have set it up here so I have a nice edge all the way around. And I can see where my pocket starts. So with my pencil, I'm going to make a little mark on the black paper, exactly lining up with the top of the pocket. Okay, and I got a little bit of pencil on my folder here. Don't want that. And I did go ahead and do my black glittery washi tape. I've used this on a couple of the different pages. This was from my stash for on the pocket. So now I have this mark. I'm going to cut in approximately 1/4 of an inch right on that mark, straight in. Yep, straight in. About 1/4 of an inch. There we go. And on this side, on that mark. So you want to cut right in the center of that mark, about 1/4 of an inch. Then, and let me get up close to you. I've got that 1/4 of an inch mark that I cut. I'm going to push my scissors in there, turn them down, and take off a triangle. So let me put a piece of paper there so you can see how I've done that. I cut in approximately 1/4 of an inch, and then I just cut a triangle down. This is all going to be under the pocket. So I will do this again. Make sure I'm in screen here. Push my scissors into that 1/4 of an inch that I cut. Turn it and cut down. And again, I'll show you that one. There we go. Okay. So now I'll show you on this side. When you put this down inside the pocket, you push it and it goes right to the edge where you're going to glue that down on your pocket, and the rest of it fits into the pocket. And here's the other side. And if you have to pull it out or pull it in just a little bit to get your level, you know, for your border all the way around, you should be able to do that and not have it be noticed. All right. So I just wanted to make sure that you saw that. And I think I've got this. This needs to go down in just a little bit. And that is, this needs to go down in just a little bit. And then this just a little bit more. Oh. And if you have to go back and cut off just a little bit more, then do that. But try and work with what you got. Okay. And I think I am going to cut off just, I mean, a sliver right here, because I am not able to get that down as far as I need to. Remember, both left and right and the top, you want everything to match up perfectly. There we go. With a nice edge. And do I have this? No, I don't. Slide it on over. And that looks good. That looks really good. Okay. So I'm just going to get this down all the way across. I'm trying to make sure I'm not moving this while moving the top part while I am trying to get it all in place. So now we're just going to lay it down. Oh, and it needs to come over this direction just a smidge. Come on. Nope. Needs to come over. Okay. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Well, this one just does not want to work for me. There we go. Okay. And hopefully the glue is still wet enough that it's going to stick it all down. Okay, and then the last bit here is I used a piece of this for this. I had to have that there. So it made it just a little too short to run across here like I'd like it to. So I am going to take a little piece of the gray paper, and I've cut a little smidgen, and I don't like, I need to cut off a little edge. No, I think that'll be all right. Let's see. Put it down and lay it down. No, because if you can see it, it should be all the way across that you can see it. And I'm not sure I like it. This piece is longer than this piece because this piece I trimmed. Well, I could trim this actually. I trimmed it with my Fiskars scissors. So let me do this, and we'll see how I like that, because I'm not like really wasting a big old strip of paper. The only problem is this probably won't line up with this too perfectly, but that's okay. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Kinda, sorta. We'll just keep maneuvering it around until it does line up pretty well. Yeah, so that will work. And then I'll put the other piece on the other side. Now, do I want that much showing? I don't think so. I think I'd rather, there we go, a little bit less showing. And then I can do this one. I don't know. I think I'm just going to put another piece of black tape on here. How's that? I think that will be more forgiving than what I'm trying to do. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use my pencil and write down right where I want to cut it so that it will match up. Let's see how I did. Very nice. Take my eraser and get the little bit off there. Peel the backing off, which, like I said, I don't know how old this stuff is, but the sticky that's on it is not very good at all. And I think I will use my tweezers and just slide this right into place. There we go. And I think I will like that much better than trying to finagle. With little pieces of paper. Okay, get my pencil. Cut this right down the center of that pencil mark. Let's try it for fit. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Take the backing off. Oh, it is off. No wonder. Like, wow. This is not working very easily for me. A little bit more. And tweezers. and slide it right into place. And I am still filming, and you are still, yes, we're good. We're good. Okay. And yes, I like that a whole lot better. Even though it's, you know, much more on the sides, I can definitely, you know, I could eventually put, where are you? I guess I used all of the big ones. I was trying to find some of those smaller little, here we go. So I have like, oh good, I have these two little postcards. They're tiny, but if I put like one of them just across the top, maybe, I don't know. You know what? Right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm going to be happy with it. This is all inked. Get that big dollop off my glue. And you do want to make sure that you get some good bit of glue in the center, because the center is not as high as the tape. So you want to make sure that that is definitely going to get down in there. And I'm kind of centering it with these two black lines here, and making sure top and bottom that it's even. Just kind of eyeballing that sucker. And then let's do a little burnishing. There we go. How cute is that? So there, guys, and now I will take this, and I marked out my pocket. We did that earlier, and so I know my measurements there are good, and I'm going to go all the way around. And go over the top. Oop! Well, that was not very intelligent. And who would have thunk I would have been able to get that inside the... My nozzle went inside the slit. Yep, only me. And then I'm going to glue around my pocket. And then let's just get some glue down and get this puppy on here, and then we're done with April. And you have seen 2 builds in the inside of the folder and 1.5 builds of the center tab. And you've seen how I'm saving on paper. Okay, a little bit more. I should have dry fit this so I knew exactly, reminded me exactly how much space I had of black all the way around. But I think I've got it. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna lay this flat and burnish. Just be careful with all your little pieces and parts that you're not sabotaging yourself. Let's open this up and give it a nice rub down on this top piece and down here. And I'm going from the middle down so that I'm pushing the glue that way instead of it coming up this way. And I'm still focused right on that where I have that magnet. Don't want to do that. Be very careful so that you're not making that magnet really stand out. Any gooey glue? No gooey glue. And there we go. Oh, wrong way. There we go. And then my April. Let's open this up. Make sure. And this is a little stiff, so once you work it a little bit, I don't want to get that in the glue. It's still a little wet. Still a little wet down in here. And it sounds, when you hear that crackling, that is the paper and the glue not really making their connection. And so, yeah, where I just kept it off from really making contact for a little too long. So there's just a few little spots where you can hear some crackling. But isn't that cute? I love that. And I thought you could write a little note on here. How cute would that be? Yeah. Yeah. And then you got your nice little belly band here as well. So let's try this again. There we go. And now it feels pretty firm. Now I am going to take a smaller bone folder and I'm just going to kind of, I'm not going all the way to the edge because I do not want to tear this paper. So that it just stays open just a little bit better. Center this. And there we have April. All done, finished. Pretty as you please. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am going to show you next the right tab. We'll do that build once. And then I'm going to try and get, this is Thursday, so I'm going to try and get over the weekend the rest of the folders built. And then on Tuesday, I'm hoping that we will start on the box. If not, it will be sometime very early next week. But we will get the box done, and then you'll be able to stick all these folders in there, and bam, you got a gift to give. You've got a nice present for yourself. Get yourself organized. 'Tis the season for organization, right? Okay, guys, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you. And I don't see my list. I got a couple of comments that I wanted to make note of, but I promise the next build I will make note of them. But thanks all so much for those comments, because I read them and I answer them. And if there's not a question in there, I still answer them. Or if you just say nice or good job, I heart you because I thank you so much. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.